Here's another interesting fact about the Gleason's map. This part of the map mentions a perpendicular barrier of ice, also known as the ice wall. Antarctica was discovered about 200 years ago, but it took almost 100 more years to be able to reach and explore it. Gleason already talked about this in his map at the end of the 19th century. The map shows longitude and degrees and is also a time calculator. The shapes of the continents and land masses seem to be accurate or close to reality on this map because it needs to be precise for the time calculator to work. Alexander Gleason's map clearly represents a flat world. But if they claim it's a projection of a globe, shouldn't the Earth supposedly be a geoid? Then this projection wouldn't match reality. However, we can see that it does work. How does the June solstice occur? In this section it says that in the images of June and December, the white area represents the sun's position during its respective months at noon. This shows the sunlight within the Arctic Circle for 24 hours. Starting on June 21, the sun moves around the tropics in a spiral, widening each day until it reaches its destination at the southern or outer solstice on December 21. Here it clearly states that the sun moves, not the Earth. On the other side, to the right, it mentions the December solstice. On December 21, the sun moves around the Tropic of Capricorn, and during the day, it lights up the southern part of the Earth, from the Arctic Circle to part of the Antarctic ice. There is no sunlight beyond 80 degrees south, only unknown ice regions. On December 23, the sun begins its journey north again, returning to its starting point, completing the seasons. This is the cosmology of the flat, not spherical world. We can clearly see and better understand how the sun and its light move over the Earth with this map. In summer, it's closer to the north, so there's more light illuminating everything at all times. That's how it moves and changes the seasons throughout the year. And then in winter in the north, the sun moves farther away, going further south.
Good afternoon, aloha from Florida. So, Big Think is trying to defend the big lie with Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michelle Thaler, and whoever the other actor was, the crazy-looking guy that did the kid shows. They're all actors, but anyway, they're well-versed in pseudoscience, and they're trying to defend the big lie of the globe. Here's Big Think's 3 big proofs, allegedly, for the globe. One is the ships going over curvature. Nothing goes over curvature because there is no curvature. Things converge into the vanishing point on the horizon. People claim that things go over curvature at a short distance on the y-axis, but yet the x-axis is much larger and there is never any curvature on it. You cannot prove observable, measurable, repeatable convexity on the surface of any large body of water. And as I've said so many times, much of the land above the oceans and beneath the oceans is observably, measurably, and repeatably flat for hundreds of thousands of square miles. So no, Big Think and Neil deGrasse Tyson, nothing goes over any curvature, let alone a ship on a short y-axis. Okay, the next one I think they said was the shadow of the Earth on the moon. So they assume that the Earth is a ball. They assume that the Earth is casting a shadow into space. But yet, even on the heliocentric nonsense, the Earth is far larger than the moon. And you think a cute little curve is going to show up on the moon from a large Earth? There's one thing that debunks this whole idea, and that is the Selenelian eclipse, when both the sun and the moon are seen above the horizon, and the shadow on the moon starts from the top down. So that's an impossibility of it being the Earth's shadow on the moon. The last one was, pictures from space. Wow. Even the original blue marble from 1972. Well, the moon landings are laughably false. I mean, they are laughable, they're hilarious if you just have any critical thinking skills whatsoever. So that picture was allegedly taken when they went to the moon and were coming back. So they didn't go to the moon, so what does that make that picture? Fake. Just like all the other CGI nonsense, or the things from a weather balloon at 25 miles. NASA has a lot of balloons, if you didn't know. They're the largest producer and user of helium on Earth. But when they're at that 25-mile altitude on a balloon, they're filming things with a fisheye lens or a wide-angle lens, which curves the horizon. But as I said on the last video too, there's not even one rocket launch that shows curvature at altitude, with the video footage remaining on the horizon from launch showing a flat horizon becoming a curved horizon at some magical altitude. There is no such video. Just like there's no such video of the Earth or the sun from the surface of the moon. Why not? We allegedly went to the moon 6 times, and all 6 times NASA forgot to point the video camera to the sky. There's not even 1 second of video footage of the Earth or the sun from the surface of the moon. And the still pics are pretty easily debunked because they went during a full moon, allegedly. And during a full moon, the Earth would have been directly overhead, not over off the horizon. And all of the Earthrise pics show the Earth over the horizon. So they are fake. So pictures from space are fake. There is no shadow of the Earth on the moon because the Earth is not a planet. It's not in space. It's not casting a shadow. And things over the horizon, we've debunked it a million times. In fact, right here where I'm at on the beach, I can look down New Smyrna and see condos 27 miles away. I would not be able to see those condos if the Earth were really a sphere with a 3,959 mile radius. And we have thousands of examples like that. So there you go. Big thinks, 3 big proofs trying to promote the big lie of the globe. Easily, quickly debunked for you. There is no way to debunk flat Earth. You can't do it. Flat Earth is the only observable, measurable, repeatable reality. And the globe is a delusional religion that demands blind faith. If you believe in the globe, it's because you are trusting what someone else told you to trust. You're believing what someone else told you to believe without even an ounce of empirical evidence for it. So that's it. Go check out our documentary, The Mechanical Realm by Vika Drazev, about the Antikythera mechanism and all the perfect repeating patterns of the heavenly luminaries around the magnetic center of our flat and stationary Earth. Have a great day. God bless.
This might just be the best flat Earth proof you've ever come across. And trust me, it's going to make you rethink everything. You've heard all the theories about Earth being round, right? We've all seen the pictures from space, the CGI animations, the globe in classrooms. But what if all of that was just part of a larger story? What if you've been missing something right in front of your eyes this entire time? According to what we've been told, the Earth's circumference is about 24,901 miles. Okay, cool. But if that were true, there would need to be a very specific amount of curvature happening as we move across the planet. I mean, we're supposed to be on a ball, right? So naturally it should curve in every single direction, not just the one you're looking at. Think about it for a second. On a ball, no matter where you are, the ground beneath you should bend away. But when you actually look for that curvature, where is it? Now here's where it gets interesting. Instead of relying on NASA's billion-dollar equipment and fisheye lenses, what if you just took matters into your own hands? Some people have done just that, sending high-altitude balloons with regular, non-distorted lenses. And what do you see? No curve. A flat horizon as far as the eye can see. Flat, straight, level. You ever wonder why they're called airplanes and not airballs? They fly straight across the sky, never curving, to match the supposed curvature of a globe. If we were on a ball, wouldn't they need to constantly adjust their altitude? But they don't. They fly level, and don't even get me started on gravity, because let's face it, that's just a theory. After all these years, gravity still hasn't been proven. What we do know, water doesn't stick to a ball. Ever tried balancing water on a basketball? Exactly. The math is another thing that doesn't add up. There's supposed to be a curve of about 8 inches per mile squared. So why don't we ever see it? From high up, you'd expect to see a pretty clear curve, yet the horizon stays flat. That's something you can see with your own eyes. No need for fancy space agencies to tell you otherwise. So why the push to make us believe we're spinning on a ball through space? What's the end game here? Here's the thing. You don't have to take anyone's word for it, not even mine. Just think critically, look around you. Everything in your everyday experience shows a flat, stationary world. They've been pushing the globe model on us since we were kids, but why? Maybe it's time we start questioning that narrative. And don't feel bad if you've believed in the globe your whole life. We've all been there, myself included. But once you start doing your own research, things start making a lot more sense. Suddenly it clicks. The flat Earth isn't just a theory for some fringe group. There are real, undeniable proofs right in front of us. You've just got to be willing to see them.
You don't really believe the Earth is flat, you're just doing this for attention. This is my favorite insult. It's more like a compliment. If you look at it from a sociological standpoint, the person giving the insult is actually critically thinking. They're looking at you and thinking, this person is far too intelligent to genuinely believe that the Earth is flat. It makes no sense, right? So the only thing that they can conceptualize and come up with is, well, they must be faking it then, right? Okay, they're well on their way. They're critically thinking, they're putting 2 and 2 together now, but they're a little off course. Remember, their frame of belief came from the indoctrination camps, right? And they think that flat earth is that bar for ignorance. Condemnation before proper investigation is the height of ignorance. That's ignorance. Uneducated, right? So they're condemning something before being educated on it, which, why would you educate yourself? When you first heard about flat earth, were you like, all right, I'm going to go look into this? No, you were kind of like, that's stupid, right? We all did. But there's going to come a time where they realize that we're not pretending. We genuinely know this to be true, demonstrably, through demonstration. Where will they stand? Will they continue to be ignorant, which is then willful ignorance? Because if they find out that we're not pretending to be flat earthers for attention, they will either have to A, investigate on their own and come to a conclusion, or B, choose ignorance. Choose blind eye. Choose willful ignorance. No, I'd rather stay in the dark, because dare I ever be a flat earther. It puts a bad taste in their mouth. They don't want to be mocked and ridiculed like we are. It hurts their little peelings.
So if you wanted to just prove to me that the Earth is a globe and put all of this nonsense to rest, all you'd have to do is one very simple thing. And that simple thing would be to go measure some curvature for me. Go find curvature 8 inches per mile squared. So every mile, it is exponentially curving more and more and more to make up for the spherical shape of our potato spinning globe in outer space. And did you know that Australians like to spin around upside down while they party? Yeah, I didn't know that either. So apparently ships disappear below curvature, but this ship was not disappearing below curvature. In fact, it was 16.8 miles away from the observer, and from an observation height of 2 feet, which means that there are over 100 feet of curvature that we are seeing right here with this ship, because it is disappearing below curvature. Just like this giant mountain range, which is 160 miles away from the observer. And when you watch the sunset, you can see the entire mountain range, from top to bottom. Peak Canigou. I probably mispronounced it. But the thing is, it's under 10,000 feet of curvature, and this was for entertainment purposes only. Obviously, the Earth is a globe.